Hey guys, this is the Ultimate Mind playing DC Universe Online as my supervillain Agent Enzo, mental controller. Um, so I'm doing Smallville. It's an alert tier one, and that means you can only access it when you get level 30. And even when you just access level 30, you still can't do it. You have to be like I think it's combat rating 35. I'm not 100% sure on that. I think it's somewhere in the 30s. Um, anyways, so Smallville is where Superman grew up, and these, I guess you could call them clones of Doomsday. They're like they're the citizens of Smallville, but they're infected and they turned into these Doomsday things. So pretty much you have to fight through them and get to Doomsday himself, who is the cause of all this. So LexCorp scientists are doing something with him that makes that turns everyone in Smallville into these beast Doomsday things. And you are doing it, the mission, because you have Exobite given powers that make you immune to the Doomsday effects, so you can't turn into one of those big monster things. That's why Superman isn't there, because if he was, he would turn into Doomsday. And they don't want like a bunch of Doomsdays running around. So, I pretty much just started the controller. You see the button, my second button. I'm kind of spamming that a lot. I'm support trolling in this because my guy has like one piece. He has a couple pieces of tier one. He has the metallo chest, legs, and head. And I think that the other guy, I usually just support troll when the other person in my group, if there's another controller, has better gear than me, is geared better than I am. So to do that, I just click on his name and do inspect and look at the the gear he has, and if it's better than mine, then I let him know that uh, I can support troll and he can be the main controller and give out the power over time. So that's why I'm not touching my number one button, telekinesis, because that's my power over time effect. I am spamming the button 2 a lot because that gives instant power to the 3 most fatigued members of the group, and it won't mess up the power over time effect. Because if I'm pressing my power over time effect and he's pressing his power over time effect, one of them's going to cancel out the other one. It's just going to be a waste of energy, and people aren't going to get as much energy in the group. My group mates aren't going to get as much energy. The other power that I just used, is Phantom Flames, and that is a defense debuff. So it pretty much makes the enemy's defenses go down a little bit, and so that my other guys can get a little more DPS on them. I also have my number 5 button is cryokinesis, and that is I believe, yeah, it's a damage debuff. So it debuffs it makes it so that the enemy won't give out as much damage. And I don't really use that one as much as I do Phantom Flames, because I think it's important that you get the enemy down. If you use Phantom Flames, it'll get down faster. So we actually had a pretty great group here. We had a healer. If you guys can't see, it's a healer, damage, and 2 controllers. That's a pretty good load. You're just missing the tank, but it's alright. You can get through it. I just used that power that turned those guys into like this little like ghost things. little phantom things, um, spirits, whatever you want to call them, and that is a healing debuff. I didn't really. So the only time you'd really use that is if there's like a boss that can heal himself, and I have that in my loadout. I mean, there isn't. I don't think there's another. There is one, but I want to have every kind of debuff in my loadout. So I have that in there. It turns them into those little spirit things, and then so they can't attack. And when they get close to their allies, they turn them into ghost thingies too, which is great. But if their dominance or will is higher than mine, then then sometimes it won't even turn them into ghosts. It'll just do the debuff. Uh, and if my dominance is higher than theirs, it will turn them into ghosts for a longer period of time, which is great. That's why when you're a controller, you want to have a higher dominance. Also, you want to have a high vitalization, because that's how much energy you're going to be giving out. So, like if I have a higher vitalization, when I press that number 2 button, it'll give out more energy to the group. So what we're doing right now is we're protecting those little pieces of equipment from these big giant doomsday guys. And if they get to it, then we lose and we got to start over for that one. You only have to do it 3 times. It doesn't take that long. This part's not the hardest. It's definitely not the hardest. The last boss, you do fight Doomsday, and he's not that hard. It's alright. I think not this guy, the Doom Crazed Giant, isn't that hard. You just had to kind of keep your distance from him unless you're tanking, because he can give out a lot of damage. So, yeah, kind of stick close to the healer. I'm gonna kind of keep my range here. And I'm using, okay, so I just used Word of Power. So, that's my supercharge. It's 50%, so it's not bad. And it just will pretty much keep everyone in the group with full energy for a period of time. So it restores energy to everyone, including yourself, which is great. So that's great when you're in raids, because it will do it for everyone. Okay, so we killed them pretty fast. Yeah, so also Home Turf just came out in those. You could see those, how I just saw one of those chairs to put in my lair. I don't really like to need on those a lot, because I don't think they make your base look cool and stuff, but I'd rather pass it, so that I'm pretty sure that in the way that need before greed works is that you'll get like something. If you need something, you'll get it eventually. So like if you pass on a bunch of stuff, then you need something, you'll most likely get it. And if rather than like needing everything, you won't have as high a chance of getting stuff later on. And the best stuff usually comes from the last boss, so that's why if I don't really need it, I like to pass. And I hardly ever use greed. I'm premium, so I can only get a max of $2,000. My money is maxed out right now, so there's really no point of greeting. Greeting is when you get money for the item, I'm pretty sure. Right now, we had to get these Doom giants into the mechanism over there. And when you do that, there's like 5 of them. I believe you have 5 of them. So you bring them over, then eventually they break out. So this one is kind of annoying. It takes a little bit, but it's alright. Then after you do that, you fight another boss. So, this has been an Ultimate Mind video. Thanks, like, subscribe. See you guys.